I brought my 7-year-old daughter to the movies at the weekend, and afterwards we were looking around the shops. I told her she could have zero to spend on anything she liked. So after returning to the first of the 4 shops we visited, and 90 minutes later, my patience was wearing a little thin. There are only so many Barbies and trinkety toys I can express an interest in an afternoon. At that point I told her that she had 10 minutes to make her decision, or we would be leaving whether she bought something or not. I could see the immediate panic this caused in her, and I knew I had upset her. This snapped me out of my just get on with it mindset that I was drifting into. I stepped back a moment and asked myself, what is it that is preventing her making up her mind? I knelt down beside her as she picked up some other trinkety little thing, and I asked her a few questions to help clarify what gift she'd be most happy with. I asked what she spent most of her time doing at home and what she enjoyed doing the most. She answered that she loved doing arts and crafts. So we made our way over to that part of the store. 5 minutes later I left the store with a happy little girl by my side, chatting about all the cool things she could do with her new present. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory. When nice things occur, you take the front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate your leadership. Nelson Mandela. This experience got me thinking about the similarities of leading a team or an individual who is going through a tough time. My daughter wasn't just wasting time by wandering around and around. She had difficulty making a decision, and with all the distractions, couldn't focus. Have you ever experienced frustration with a team member who just couldn't get it? If you find yourself in that situation now, perhaps it's time to, as Jim Collins puts it, stop looking out the window and start looking in the mirror. When Collins wrote about this concept in his groundbreaking book, Good to Great, he wrote that level 5 leaders look out the window to give credit to their teams when things went well, and look in the mirror when things were not going so great. Poor leaders do the opposite. When things weren't going so well, they looked out the window to apportion blame, and when things did go well, they wallowed in the credit is needed to resolve it, even if it's asking for help. But what if they don't know how to fix the problem themselves? What if, like my daughter, they don't even know how to articulate the problem? If you've ever found yourself in the position of feeling frustrated with a team member, it's likely that there's something going on under the surface. If they're not fully engaged, it's easy to look out the window and come up with all the excuses in the world as to why they're not a good employee. However, if you take a moment to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what can I do differently? Perhaps you could flex your communication style to better meet their needs. Perhaps you could ask some targeted questions with a high dose of empathy to get under the hood, to find out the root cause of the problem and help to turn them around. What are their personal values? What are their drivers? What are their hobbies and interests? What are their aspirations, their desires? Understanding these about your team will help you tap into what's important for them, and when you can do that, you can align your communication to inspire and motivate them, or at the very least, learn how you can best support them through a tough time they might be going through. Even if supporting them means helping to align their skills in some other area of the organization or outside of it, sometimes that's the hard truth. But if your intent is to support them, and you show this through empathetic listening, they'll either find the answer themselves or be guided by your advice. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. Knowing what you know now. Do you find yourself looking out the window and in the mirror at the right moments? What are some key questions you can do to help your team through tough times? Knowing what you know now. Have you got the necessary skills to coach your teams for maximum performance? How aware are you of your impact on others through what you say and what you do? How are you influencing your team culture?